Hello, beautiful people. Hope everyone is having a great day today. For those of you that do not know, my name is Kayla Wallace, and I'm so happy and grateful for you to be here today, and thank you for clicking on this video. So, as you can see by whatever title I decided to come up with, we are going to be drawing today. Oh my gosh, I can't even lie to y'all. I have not opened up a sketchbook in over 6 months. If I'd be lying if I said it was anything sooner than that. And I think part of that is just different things that I've just been unfortunately having to take priority. The point of me even being here and sharing my different hobbies is for me to get back to what feels good and making sure that I am making time for the things that make me feel good as well too. I spend 8 to 9 hours of my life a day at my 9-to-5 job, and I want to make sure that I'm pouring back into Kayla the best way that I know how. And how I know how to do that right now is by talking to you all and having fun, and we are going to draw today. So, not only am I going to be drawing, because it'd be a little boring if I was just sitting here drawing for 20 plus minutes, but I am also going to be talking a little bit of a topic that came to my mind last week. And so the topic that came to my mind last week that I want to talk to you guys about today is to speak or not to speak. I know I have to throw a little Shakespeare in there. That topic came to my mind, I think just recently. I've been journaling a lot more consistently, and there have just been certain things from my childhood that have really come to the surface, and rather than just pushing it down like I may have in the past, I'm now bringing it up to the surface. I'm like, all right, you coming up, we're gonna face you head on, and I'm grateful for that. It has been a lot. There are the struggle moments, of course, but I'm grateful for the fact that I'm pushing through. I'm working on my healing, and I know I'm gonna be better on the other side of it. So let's get into today's topic, and I need to figure out what I'm gonna draw. So first, I want to go a little bit into my supplies just to show you guys that it doesn't take much to be able to make time to do something creative, something fun, something out of the norm. So I have my sketchbook, and I've had this since college, just to show you guys some of my older stuff. Oh my God, again, I have not drawn in so long. But, I did not think that stuff was going to fall out. Oh, this is a good one. I made a little rabbit. Oh, I thought that was so cute. I have this pencil case that I've had for years. Barely even used, really. I'm not the biggest, pencil drawer. See, this was my problem back in the day during art class. I hated the prep work that you had to do for art, you know? Especially when I was in AP art, they want to see what's your sketch, what's your initial design, how did you come up to your concept? And I'm sitting there like, well, I have the idea in my mind and I just want to get on the canvas. That's what I did. So I always used to kind of BS the prep work of it. But of course, you have to respect the process, and I understand that. I understand. And then I had some really nice micron pens, but I can't find them. I have some acrylic paint that I could get into, but I kind of want to keep it just a little simple. And I found these random colorful pens, and we're just gonna hit pen to paper and make it do what it do. So the topic that I want to talk about today is to speak or not to speak. And just thinking about that topic, it got me thinking about lips, and then I drew an extra line from the lips, so that made me draw the flat line. So this is our starting point. And let's go ahead and get into today's topic as well too. So, to speak or not to speak. I know I'm sitting here on this YouTube channel here today, but believe it or not, growing up, I was always labeled the quiet one. In my family, I was the quiet one. At school, I was the quiet one. Going back to my early childhood days as well, I remember recounting stories and memories from my mom, recounting me as a baby. And she would always say, Kayla, you would never cry. The only time I would ever cry was when I was hungry. She's like, that's the only time I ever cried. And growing up as well, there was a period in my life, a good span of my life, where my mom was a single mom. And she had 4 children. And when you are labeled the quiet one, the good one, the smart one, the intelligent one, you then become the one that we don't have to worry about, quote unquote. Of course, my mom fed me, she nurtured me, and she made sure, obviously, I'm here to withstand 24 years of life. But I can now look back and say that my behavior, my quietness, and just my way to just kind of resort back to my shell, it in a sense made things easier for her to be able to cultivate my siblings who may have needed that extra attention and nurturing, where I kind of was at this safe baseline to where she felt like I was good, you know? And of course, again, this is no knack to my mom. I love her. Not sure if she watches this, but if you are, I love you. But again, just for myself and my own experience, that is just how I felt. So that was really like how I was with my family. But even when I think about me just growing up in school as well too, again, I was the quiet one. I got good grades. I remember in 4th grade, I actually went to a different school for like gifted and talented classes as well too. So here I am at this new school and this like segmented classes. So that caused me to be even more quiet than I already was too. Middle school, I went to a new middle school where I didn't know anyone. That kind of inserted me to be quiet. 8th grade, I was at a new school. So 8th grade was really where I feel like 8th grade was really a point where I had internalized being the quiet one, like where I fully embodied it. When I tell y'all, and like my family, 8th grade year was such a hard year. One, because I was 13 or 14 years old going through all bunch of puberty stuff. 2, I was in a whole new school where I didn't know anyone as well, a whole new town as well. And it was hard. I very much put myself in isolation. I was like a little turtle, and not in the cute sense, and I would just come straight home, do my homework, and then go to bed. Grade was also when I started writing poetry as well. So when you grow up not feeling like you have a voice, it's so much more important to have those outlets to be able to express yourself in some way. I had so much inside me that was bottled up throughout the years, and you don't realize how much you are bottling up because you're just doing through the motions, going through the day by day. And then of course, you know, I think back, I would have those moments of blowing up like inevitably. It's a soda bottle. You can only shake up a soda bottle so many times before everything's gonna explode out of it. And I was allowing myself to be exploded, and I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like it at all. And then 9th grade, I actually, because of my sister, she was a cheerleader, and that allowed me to be a cheerleader. And one other thing I want you guys to envision on this aspect of me being just like quiet in nature, understand as well, yes, I was this quiet person, but this same like bubbly smiliness that you guys see as well, that was also me. So when I kind of think back to it, the mask that I wore, quote unquote, the mask, you know, the smiles, I can say I'm not always like 100% like happy 100% of the time. Like I just naturally smile because that's just me. Maybe the mask, my appearance of happy, bubbly, assured people that I was okay even if I wasn't. And because I was then painted as quiet, it then made me feel like I wasn't able to, and I didn't know how to really speak up for myself either. It's easy when people want you to talk, it's easy for people to say something. But when I want to talk and no one wants to hear me, why would I then want to talk when you want me to? It does not make sense. It's not clicking. I also have to address younger Kayla, because there were moments when people would ask me if I was okay or if something is wrong, and because I didn't have the vocabulary to be able to effectively say what I was feeling and to be able to describe it, I didn't. I was subjected to just the simple pleasantries of, yes, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm all right. It's fine. I'm good. Whatever. Deep down, I wasn't. But when you when you don't have the words to say and you're sitting here stuttering and people are waiting for you to say something, it makes you want to hide even more. And it's hard. It's tough. And I can address younger Kayla and say, hey, girl, we should have spoke up. But then I also can address the fact that she didn't feel like she had the necessary tools and resources to be able to do that. So that is why 24-year-old Kayla is here today, to do that, to make sure that I have the words to say when I'm not okay, or to say when I'm not good, and respecting the fact that this smile does not always have to be reflectant of a good, positive attitude. It's okay for me not to be okay. You know, that kind of addresses the topic of to speak or not to speak when communicating for myself and, you know, advocating for myself. But I also kind of want to talk about what I've been struggling with recently is to speak or not to speak in conversation with people. So it first started definitely at work. Being in the corporate setting, especially, oftentimes I'm the youngest person. Most times I'm the only Black person as well too. There are often times where sometimes I'm the only woman. So there can oftentimes be certain things outside of my control where it's like, dang, I am truly like the only one out here, you know? I'm representing for real. And I do what I can. But one thing I have been learning, and when I first joined this job, I said like, okay, I want to be a sponge. I want to be able to soak up as much information. And I've definitely been kind of implementing that a lot in terms of my communication and trying to listen more than I speak, especially at work. Oftentimes there have been moments where I may, you know, contribute something to the team or like within a meeting or something, and maybe it might be responded with crickets, or someone's like, yeah, we thought about that, but nah. And when that first would happen, I would take that as, Kayla, shut up. Your opinion's not validated. You shouldn't be talking. Like, just don't say anything. And that is not okay. My voice does matter, but I also can realize that there are certain things that people may have more information on or more insight on, and I might not. And that's completely okay. That's exactly why I'm getting paid as much as I am, and the other people are getting paid as much as they are, because I am truly in a position of learning and growing. And there have been moments where I may think I'm contributing something, or I put my self-worth and my accomplishments into, you know, how much I'm contributing and like what I'm saying, what I'm doing. And sometimes when you may think that your voice is not being heard, it's hard to not attribute your whole self-worth to that. And there were moments where I'm in a meeting and I might say something and it might not get the reaction or the response that I was expecting, and just honestly getting a little sad. And I think that has to go back to school, growing up, having good grades, you know, always knowing the answer, always knowing the right thing to say. But I have to realize that at a job, there are some times where there is obviously like a right or wrong answer, but especially because I work in marketing, there is so much gray area most of the times. Half of the time, like, you know, in order for us to really like, you know, progress and to do something, it's a bunch of just like ideas coming together, flowing together. And I have to be okay with the fact that my idea is not always going to be the best idea. I have coworkers that have been in the company for 20 plus years, and they have experience and they have ideas and they have certain intuition on things. It's not to say that that I should never speak up, but it's really just understanding not every idea is going to be the idea, but if I have it, say it. Obviously, if it's come to my mind, then it should be said. And even if nobody responds to it or says something, then look, I contributed to the conversation and I should feel good about speaking my mind. Every time I don't speak my mind, I need to be telling myself, you just like put your hand over little Kayla's mouth and basically told her to shut up. Ooh, that's a good one. Every time I choose not to speak my mind. That's me putting my hand over little Caleb. Oh my gosh. That did it. That'll do it for me. But yeah, so that's how it's been in my work life in terms of just like my communication. Now, in terms of, let's talk about with friends and family. So quiet, yes, growing up. And then like, once I came into my own, especially like in college and stuff, when you're on your own, when you're away from your family, it's almost like sometimes you have no choice but to come into your own and like who you are. And I remember in college, I actually participated in some like open mic poetry nights and things like that. And I was able to perform, which is so crazy to think about now. I did modeling. I was part of a modeling troupe in college. So literally having to walk on a runway in front of like, hundreds of people. Definitely nerve-wracking, but it definitely gave me a greater sense of just confidence and self-worth, which I appreciate. So with my friends, you can ask this about anybody. Most times people are going to say, I'm the mom of the friend group, if you couldn't tell. And that was just something just from like growing up. I feel like I'm like good, like intuition. People oftentimes will say, ask if I'm like a teacher, because I'm very like observative and stuff like that. They'd be like, you must have be a teacher. Like you could have such good control over the classroom. And I'm like, nah, because I would be sitting on the rug with the kids having nap time every 30 minutes. So no teaching jobs for me. But oftentimes I know that I do provide good advice to my friends. I'm able to have that like positive demeanor, and then also being able to level head, seeing multiple perspectives. I think I'm good at that. And one thing that I recently have had to realize is, I'm looking down here at my notes, I used to think that people would want to come to me only for advice, but I realized it's my energy and my spirit and my presence that people seek about me. Not what I can do for them, but who I am. And realizing that and having that epiphany moment of like, I don't always need to be in a moment of what can I do for you? How can I serve you? Being able to just sit in myself and knowing like, wow, people just want to be around me because of me. People want to talk to me and vent to me because it's me. And I oftentimes would be in a place of listening to respond and like feeling like I had to have like bullet points and answering all the things that they're saying and giving this right response, giving the advice that they're seeking from me. But no, people want my energy. People want my presence. And that is just such a blessing to know that I'm around people who truly just want to be around me. That's a good feeling. And it's one that I have to change, because if I continue to think that people just always want stuff from me, then it's going to make me feel drained, and it's going to make me want to give less to myself. But it's like, nah, I can pour more into me and know and respect that if anyone in my life does need anything from me, they can come to me and they will ask me and they will tell me. People, every time someone texts me, that does not mean that they need anything from me or they want anything from me. Sometimes they just want me. So all in all, in today's video journal, me dissecting topics that come in my head. So to answer the question, to speak or not to speak, speak your mind. Because if you don't, no one else is going to speak your mind for you. Know and trust that the people who are around you, the people who love you, want to hear your voice. They want to hear about you. They do not have any expectations for you. They simply want you to be the best version of you. And in order to be that, you have to be truthful. You have to be honest with yourself and with the people around you. And yeah, just trust that the words will flow, and that the ears that your words fall upon will be receptive to the things that you have to say. All right, y'all. So this is my don't think, just draw. And here she is. It's a little bit of everything and nothing at all, but I'm just proud of myself for doing it, putting pen to paper and letting whatever flow. And I'm just proud of myself for doing that, and I'm glad I was able to share it with you all as well. So thank you all for watching. I hope you guys were able to learn a little bit more about myself, but also learn something for yourself too that may have enlightened something in yourself that you want to dig deeper on and to really bring to the surface. Remember, when things come up, don't be scared, face it head on. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.